SBA Today for the week of July 8th, 2024, where our motto is likely helpful, definitely entertaining.
Definitely.
Tonya, welcome back. We missed you last week. Where the heck were you? What were you
Last
doing?
week, what are you talking about? The last 2 weeks, for goodness sake. I have been out
know.
for 2 weeks. I've never taken a trip that long, honestly. But, I'll get into that. Actually, I'll tell you all about my trip, in fact, because I'm going to get to that in a second. But
Ooh.
first, I'm going to tell you what we've got coming down the line.
Good idea.
We're going to do, okay, during job interviews, employers say recent college graduates have, we're going to talk again about new working capital program, get a little bit further in depth with it. And restaurant sales prices are up. Better than down.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So, yes, my trip. Oh, my gosh. Paul, I don't know. Have you ever gone out of town and completely walked away from everything? I mean, didn't take my computer. I didn't take my work computer. I told people I am unavailable. I have never done that. Have you ever done that?
I have done that once, and it was the best vacation I ever had.
How long was it?
I think it was about a week and a half.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's the most crazy thing. I did that. I've never been able to do that. I typically take my work computer. I typically feel like I can't shut off. I'm not allowed, right?
Yeah.
That I've got to be on. I've got to be present. I've got to be available for clients and back office and whatnot. This time around, I was going to be on a yacht for the first week. Yeah, there's a story around that.
Geez.
I know. I was going to be on a yacht for the first week. So, it was going to be in and out. Secondly, I didn't want to think about work. I literally wanted to shut my brain down. And it's been amazing for me because I've come back way more ready, right, to tackle what I need to tackle, which is good because 2 weeks away, as you know, creates me needing a vacation from coming back.
How many emails did you have?
Oh my God. I haven't even gotten through them all. It's a lot. Anyway, but what I wanted to talk about really is in doing so, in completely shutting down, allowing yourself the ability to surrender to basically time and flow and whatnot is like one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And I don't think we do enough of it in business. I know we don't do enough of it in our realm because we have to keep our fingers on the pulse when we have a deal. We've got to make sure that, we're not stepping away in order for things to keep moving. Well, in this respect, I told all the ones I was working with, I was like, listen, get your stuff into me. This is what's happening. I am going to be gone 2 weeks. I am not going to be available. I mean, I will check it periodically, but that's it. I'm not going to be available. Some did what I said. Others did not. My previous way of being would be to take on their lack of urgency as my own. I did not do that this time. And I'm so proud of myself, right? And I got so much from it because, one of mine had weeks from the proposal to get me things that I was asking for, knowing this was coming up. Didn't do it until the last minute. Things might have sat a bit more so than typical. And I warned them, I told them we could only do what we could do. Anyway, that being the case. So the first week of my trip was a transformational trip. I mean, it was mind opening or whatnot. I don't know. Many bankers out there may not be in the same realm as me when it comes to some of the stuff that I'm into. So I might not get too deep into it, but it was called Living Rad, Loving Contagiously. And yeah, it's got some Dr. Dispenza stuff in there, some energy. It just a mind expansion outside of work and finance and business. So anyway, but I did that. And what I got from it in letting go, in going with the flow, in allowing what came was I had that week. And then I had a week of solo travel. I've never done solo travel. I've always been told as a woman, be careful. Things are going to happen. That's scary, and it kept in me this ability not to go do something that I wanted to do because I felt like I couldn't. And I think every woman out there, I think every person out there, mind you, but I'm going to speak for women because I am one. I can. And I think we have there's a different, idea behind women traveling solo. If you're a woman out there, do it. At least once in your entire life, do it because there is a confidence and a just I am a bad ass, and I'm going to say it. So you bleep away. You can't bleep because this is live. Anyway, type feeling that you get from it that I think everybody needs, because I've come back a completely transformed person. Anyway, in business, same thing. In business, yeah. That's Croatia. That's the coast of Croatia. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at the color of that water. Do you see that?
Oh,
Crazy. Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
man.
I know the Krka waterfalls, also in Croatia. So this was all the yacht trip. We stopped at so many islands and did so much stuff. It was amazing. Let's see, what's the next one up here? Oh yeah. Okay. So that's in Pula, Croatia. And that is so in Pula, there's a couple things. There's the Colosseum, and the Colosseum is the second most put together, meaning it's the most formed or hasn't broken down, whatever you want to call that, right? In the world. So Rome is the first, and Pula, Croatia is the second. This is the arch, and oh my God, do you see the rainbow?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Wow, that's really cool.
I'm walking, I'm like, what? Anyway,
that's a sign.
So cool. It was just so amazing. Anyway, so those were just some pictures. Yeah, that's headed to the waterfalls. So anyway, the thing that I wanted to get to, I guess, is in business, it's the same daggum thing, right? The flow, you as the owner. So say you own your business, and, or any of you brokers out there, anybody that owns what they do, even us loan officers, because we own our books, right? Sometimes to take your finger off and to surrender and trust that others can help, others can actually step up to the plate. If you aren't the only one that feels like only you can get it done correctly, it's going to give you a little bit of a liberation. It's going to allow others within your organization and or your business to step up to the plate, right?
Yep.
They're allowed to step up to the plate if you never let go. So I guess that is my point in all this kit and caboodle, because y'all know me, I kind of get to talking and I can't stop.
You're going to love this story. So every morning, my wife and I go on a walk. It's just kind of our thing we do.
Right.
And I go, oh yeah, Tonya's getting back from 2-week vacation. She did it solo. I'm like, that's so badass. And I use those words.
Oh,
and
that's
my wife looks at me and she goes, what makes that badass? Like, why is that an exception that a woman could do that? I'm like, but it's society. And I think that's just what you, especially as you, go back into your parents' era, etc. It's like, oh, women don't do that. Why the hell not?
To this day, I put it out there, and my family members' immediate concern. And I was like, I don't want that concern. I get it. It comes from the space of love, right?
Correct.
But at the same time, there's this idea that everything is bad. And oh my gosh, there was so few occurrences that made me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Sure.
And there were so many occurrences of just amazement and beauty. And I mean, I do have to admit, I came home very humble. I'm rather embarrassed as an American that I don't know a second language.
Right.
I'm rather embarrassed of this. It was very humbling. I was like, I had a couple conversations about that with some ladies I met over there, and I'm like, all right, I might have to get on one of those Duolingo things or
there you go.
But it is pretty badass. I mean, and there is a difference between women traveling solo. There are things that you have to be concerned about or have to watch out for because you are female, and there is a difference there, right? But at the same time, the world is your oyster, man. Get out there and do it.
That's right.
So, anyway,
I'm glad you had. Welcome back. That is an awesome trip, and the core memories are solid on that, I'm sure.
The core memories are, I kind of want to go again.
I bet.
Anyway, well, we'll go into the next one, actually, and that's going to be during job interviews. All right, during job interviews, employers say recent college graduates have. Oh boy, you already know what's coming down the line. I got kids. I know. Struggle with eye contact. No kidding. 53%. Our iPhones. I mean, everybody, even when I was traveling, all people are doing is staring down. It's like their gray faces are staring down at these phones. Nobody's looking around or interacting. It's crazy. They thought I was crazy because I'm dancing by myself and doing my thing. Anyway, asked for unreasonable compensation. That
I guarantee both of us have seen that one.
totally makes sense. I'm like, what? You got to start at the bottom, sir. Anyway, dressed inappropriately. My daughter's done that. She went on a job interview with freaking cut off shorts. I'm not kidding you. Holy and whatever with a sweatshirt. And she's like, but that's what everybody wears. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say about this.
I did an interview with a BDO that was in a tank top.
Oh no.
And sitting back in his chair like he was God's gift. I was like,
was it a wife beater? Those are the world's worst, those white t-shirt things. I'm like, those should be banned. Ooh, no. Anyway, okay. Used inappropriate language. I've had that on across the board with all ages.
What's the damn problem with that?
Right? It's pretty badass. No, kidding. We're gonna get so yelled at.
I know.
Refuse to turn on the camera during a virtual interview.
What? That one was shocking to me.
Yeah, 21%. I was like, I mean, all of these at this point, I would be like, no, peace out, moving on. I just wouldn't be able to do it. Or I would have like my mom and me that have to come out and be like, okay, this is the real world. Right?
I believe that.
Mom and me would totally. And this one,
it's the best.
This one is awful. Brought a parent to their interview. 19% brought a parent to their interview. I mean, who does that?
Oh God, no. That's epic.
I'm like, are they going to work for you too? I mean, do they change?
I haven't had that one before, but I look forward to having that one. That is going to make my day.
Oh my God, no, horrible. Anyway, all right, and I think that's on the parents. I mean, a lot of this is, I think, much of it is on us parents. I think to give our kids the the direction on how this is supposed to work. Kind of like my daughter, she got ticked at me. I was all over her. And finally I was just like, you know what? Do you, man? I'm telling you how this should be. But they hired her and that's on them. They should not. Yeah. Truly.
Yeah, that's true.
They're encouraging it. So there you go.
Well, hey, moving into our next topic, there is the working capital line that is coming up, and they are really getting closer to doing this. And I think this is going to be a big thing. If you've not read up on this, I strongly recommend as an SBA professional that you do. So bottom line is, they're coming out with, obviously with SBA Express, you can go up to 500,000. You got the working capital cap line that goes up to 5 million. But lenders are really nervous about doing working capital cap lines. I'm doing one right now, but I'm scared just because of the rules behind it. And so I think the whole point of this program, because my first initial thought was, we need another program. Like, why? But
like I totally in my head.
Right, exactly. I need a new SOP, please. So what it does is it provides a flexible annual SBA guarantee fee. And it allows businesses to customize the loan to their specific needs and reducing the cost. And again, I don't have any more information than this, but that's very interesting to see what that's going to be. And usually if they're doing something on a pilot program, they're probably also looking at it for the 7A. So you always got to look at things from multiple ways. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. It is going to be an asset-based working capital loaner line. So, I mean, it's going to be borrowing base, which is fine. And for larger loan amounts, it should. And this one, I think, is a big one, is it's supporting export and domestic sales. Unlike some existing programs where it's only on export. You can only use an export line of credit for export. Well, okay, well, that's not always the case.
Right.
And then they're doing some green home energy tie-in thing. I'll be honest with you, I tune out on that stuff. Sorry. But it's that they're incorporating that into the program as well. So again, it is in its pilot phase, and they're looking to have this later this year. And I know that the SBA is excited about that, and I'm sure a lot of lenders are at least intrigued to find out more about this program. So do some research on that, and it'd be very interesting to see what happens on there.
Well, Paul, I wanted to really quick before we move to the next one, because I meant to do this in the beginning and I completely spaced because, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that why you took the walk this morning? Did you get coffee or donuts in bed or anything?
No, we always do a coffee walk in the morning.
Aww,
I know. When you get above the age of 40, it's just another day.
Who's above the age of 40, man? I'm reverting in age. I have done.
Oh, you are? Okay, I believe that. If
you saw my toenails, they're bright green, and then I put a coating of what do you call it? Glow in the dark.
Ooh.
I know, on top. And my daughter and I went in together. She got a French manicure. They looked at us like we were like backwards, which we were. Because here's my daughter doing normal. I'm doing bright colors, and I want to glow in the dark. Anyway.
Last but not least, from Biz Buy Sell, they came out with some interesting facts on restaurants. And why am I talking about restaurants? Because I bet you a lot of your portfolios do have restaurants, whether you like it or not. Yep. And the number one SBA loan NACIS category for 2024 is restaurants. I know. So it's really continuing its post-pandemic recovery.
Yeah.
And they are, even though there's 8% less listings, the prices for good quality cash flow restaurants are up 9%. So now keep in mind, when things go up, things also come down. So just be careful on your valuations. But that's really good news, though, for restaurants, because restaurants usually get the brunt of bad news. And it's good to see that people are still out there spending, and there's still people out there willing to buy, healthy financial restaurants. And restaurants, their margins are so thin that, it's hard to have healthy financials, but it's absolutely possible. So keep that in mind when you're looking at all restaurants. So.
That sounds awesome. I'm glad, actually, because our restaurants, poor things, they have really been put through the ringer since the COVID pandemic. So
yes, they have.
And so I see on here, Craig Robbins. Craig, you're thinking about solo travel and you're not a woman. Well, I'm glad the name Craig. I'm kidding. You know what? I would love it, Craig, if you let us know what you decide to do. I'm going to tell you right now, and I've heard a lot of people going to Croatia. I had no idea about Croatia until I decided to do this trip. The most beautiful country, the water, the Adriatic Sea, you can float in it like it. You just lay there. It's the craziest thing. It's the second saltiest. I did not know this. Look at Croatia. It is gorgeous. It is safe. Just a beautiful, beautiful country if you choose to do so. And let us know how it goes for you. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And Ray, I'm sorry, you interviewed somebody in a tank top.
Notice he say he didn't hire.
Well, I think maybe he offered him the position, and they're like, you're in a tank top? I don't think so.
Right.
Anyway, okay. All right. Well, guys, that wraps up our show for today. We would love to see you again next week. And as soon as news breaks, if you want to see us, then next week on LinkedIn and or YouTube or any of your streaming platforms. And then if you've got something to talk about, go ahead and email us at sbatoday@artofsba.com or reach out to Paul or I if you're on LinkedIn. Just message us. We'd love to hear from you. Comment below, if you can. We want to just get this out here. Share with your friends if you think there's something of interest here. And don't forget our SBA, I guess, family or sister family out there, the BDO show and the Art of SBA Lending, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Talk to you guys later.
See you later.
See ya.